was muted there. How professional. Was that the first mute I've had for this Untitled series? It might be. How you doing? Welcome in to another edition of United Spurs of America, the Untitled series here that I've been doing myself here. So big up yourself if you're here on replay. If you're here live, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. A nice, friendly pat on the back. But hope you're doing well. A lot of I guess rumors, so to speak, surrounding Harry Kane once again. Words come out that he does not want to sign a contract with us, that he is trying to get out. That's the rumor anyway. But also this happened about 15 minutes ago. I did a whole video yesterday on the young guy, Ashley Phillips, the center back from Blackburn. As of 15 minutes ago, that deal looks set to collapse. It looks like it might not actually even happen. So that's a little bit of fun news to find out here on a Thursday afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are keeping well. Hope you're staying blessed and fresh at the same time, simultaneously. Let's say it that way. Hit that like if you don't mind. While you come into the show, participate in that poll. Very much encouraged to always participate in that poll. The question for today is, where are you with this Kane saga? Where am I with this Kane saga is a great question to ask myself. I will be joined by Alan Clark from Time Added On in about 15 minutes or so. So do not worry. I will have him here. He's texting me right now. He may be canceling. Oh, he needs the link on Twitter. So I'll send it to him on the Twitter while I talk, and let's see how good I can do that. There's Alan Clark on the Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and drop him this link. For whatever reason, Alan Clark needs a link on Twitter, and but that's okay. He'll join us anyway, and we appreciate Alan Clark over there with Time Added On. But yeah, this this center back deal looks set to break down. Phillips has already undergone a medical. Let me just show you what I'm looking at here. You know how I like to share the screen with y'all. I'll zoom it in, even make it a little bit easier to read. So according to Reluctant Nico, who's this Reluctant Nico, by the way? Let's figure this guy out. 121,000 followers. Journo Jags fan. That's unfortunate, but very cool. He seems like, oh, these tweets are protected. I can't even look at his tweets. What the heck? I'm gonna try and follow this I'm trying to follow him. He's got a whole bunch of followers, so he must be burning through them requests. But yeah, well, how are we feeling about this? Let me see what's up with the chat. I haven't even said hello. Tottenham forever. Big up. You get the first place prize today. Says big up Jay. Big up yourself, Tottenham forever. Peter Aga. Big up Peter. Says big up Jacob. I hope Kane will sign a new contract if he sees that Levy buys 2 new center backs and that Ange can bring us glory. If he doesn't want to sign, then we need to sell. I don't want to see him go for a free. Very good point there. Very good point. I would agree with you. We need to sell. Especially, that's the part I agree with the most. We need to sell. Big up Mark Cousins. The sheriff is in the house. Everyone on their best behavior now. The sheriff has arrived. Peter, I absolutely don't want to see him join a negligent club for free, an English club for free. Definitely don't want him to go to one of our rivals for free. Obviously, there's been talks that maybe he goes to Chelsea, maybe he goes X, Y, and Z. I don't personally see him doing the thing to Chelsea because I think he knows kind of where he will sit with the supporters. But big up Milton Nobrega. Hello from Australia. Hello, Milton. Thank you for being here. Happy you're here. I like to find out that you said hello. It's a new name, and you immediately tell me where you're from. I appreciate that because I like finding out where everyone's from. Big up Wayne Bonner. Wayne Bonner's in the house. Says evening all afternoon. Hope you're all well. With Kane, sell him. Take 80 million and get a player thrown into the deal. If Kane wants to leave, then let him. If we can get 80 million in a decent player, I'll take it for sure. If we can get Kane sold for 80 mil pounds, not euros, and get a decent young player out of that, I mean, if he wants to leave, we shouldn't keep him against his own will. That's kind of the whole premise of the show that I made. Is Kane being held hostage here at Tottenham Hotspur? Are we his kidnappers? It's kind of funny to me. 15% say yes, he is hostage at Spurs. 38% says I've lost interest in it all. 31% says sell Kane now and move on. 15% says keep Kane, let him walk or sign. There is the argument. What are we saying, chat? There is an argument of it's not my cash, so like, why does it even matter? Let's just squeeze the limit as much as we can get while we have the limit. And I understand that. I would like to have some funds to say, look, we should have then in turn gotten some pretty top talent with that money, but that remains to be seen if we'll even do that. Ravi, big up Ravi in the house. Big up YouTube's Bayern fan here. A fan of the Honus, as I like to say. Big up, says yo bro. Big up. I'm glad to see everyone checking in from wherever they are respectively. Let's see, we're sitting on about 16 likes. Appreciate all of those who have gone ahead and hit that like first thing. But if it's cool, I'll never put a poll up and ask you to like the video. That's not my style. I put a poll up to gauge the temperature of the room, so to speak. Phil Coys in the house. Jacob, big up. Big up, Phil. Hope you're keeping well. Big friend of the channel. Ravi says, I think Kane won't leave. He should have left when Pochettino or Jose left. He tried to. He tried to leave. He tried to leave when we had Nuno after Jose. So he did try to leave after the second one. Milton, it is 7:06 a.m. Friday morning. Good morning, Australia. Should I try and do like a Robin Williams, good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, Australia. Dananda. I'm not going to do a terrible Australian accent for you first thing in the morning, actually. So I take that back. Just everyone unhear those last couple words that I just said. But big up, Milton. I love Milton. Fair play. I'm a big kangaroo fan. I've had this one since I was born, and then I got this big papa when I was like 2 years old. And so I'm a big fan of kangaroos. I know what y'all do out there to these beautiful animals. So don't tell me, I know, I'm aware. I just choose to not think about it or else it'll hurt my heart. But as you can see, we got Antonio Conte. He's in the pouch. And then we got some Greek ouzo in the pouch as well for my man, Ange Postecoglou. But yeah, just so you know, fair play, Milton. If you see a kangaroo, love a kangaroo. Don't eat him. That's what I say. YouTube says things are getting more interesting between our clubs. The Kane saga continues. Unfortunately so. YouTube's, you're a Bayern fan. I do not mind if y'all continue to come in for him and y'all do say, make us a decent offer for him. I'm fine with that. But let's just get it done with. I want to know the finality of the situation personally. Adrian Schroka's in the house. Says, good evening all. Big up Adrian Schroka. Good show over there on Time Added On. Always a good time over there, Adrian. Good input that you always provide. Even if I don't agree with you, Adrian, I do appreciate your views because that's just kind of the guy I am. To get the most well-rounded opinion, I think you have to listen to all sides of the table. That's just my opinion. You may agree or disagree. Big up Andrew Seymour, evening Jacob, and all from Hertfordshire. Hopefully I said that right. So that's quite the town name. I always joke, I say sometimes in the UK, these counties or towns or whatever, they sound like just not real. The names don't sound like a real place. Cloud Clicks, sell Kane, get Feyenoord striker Santiago Jimenez. I don't know him. I don't watch Feyenoord. I will admit that. Sell Højbjerg and get Ibrahim Sangari from PSV. I do like Ibrahim Sangari. I think that's how you say his name. I watched a great deal of PSV last year. They are my chosen Eredivisie team. In America, if you have ESPN Plus, you can get most of the Ajax and PSV games on ESPN Plus. So I did watch a lot of them last year. I really enjoyed a lot of their players. Obviously, Madueke before he left, and then now they got Johan Bukayoko. I don't know how to say his name, but he's a young Belgian winger out there. He's pretty good. I love Xavi Simons, but obviously he went to Leipzig on loan. PSG don't want to seem to get rid of the guy. So, cool. Just message Alan back. He said he'll be here shortly. So, big ups. Everyone go ahead and welcome in Alan before he even gets here. That'd be pretty sweet. I can't send you the DMs nor comments. Social media hates me. YouTube's, we're trying to get you on, man. I got to get you on. Let me get, especially if we're, oh, big up Lazy 8, new member in the house. Big up, Lazy 8. Always contributing to the channel, always chiming in with the chat, and locked it in with the YouTube membership. Big up yourself right now. Welcome to the family. We're working on getting things going there. As far as like, you know, I don't want to do a fan calling show if I got like 1-2 people calling in. So I'm working on bringing some exclusive stuff there to the memberships. But appreciate you signing up there for the Lovers Lane. It only costs $2 a month, and you become part of the family. So you can do that if you want. If not, free. It's very free just to hit that like and subscribe. We did hit 1,500, so I want to say thank you to all the people who have subscribed along the way, new or old. You have a special place in my heart, and you know that. Indian Gooner in the house. Here we go. We got a rival fan. Big up from Mumbai. Big up, Indian Gooner. Appreciate you showing some love out here to a Spurs channel, regardless of our affiliation. It is a beautiful sport, and I love learning from people from all over the world. So hopefully you can teach me a thing or two. And banter's perfectly fine on this channel. You can definitely banter Spurs, banter me. It's all good. I have thick skin. There's not much you could say to really offend me. Yosarian is in the house. If any player isn't committed to the club, they need to leave. G'day from Gamui, pronounced Gamoy, also known as Cairns, in far north Queensland, Australia. Oh, look at that. Far north Queensland, Australia. I wonder, I need to look that up on a map real quick. Far north Queensland. That's a region. All right, let me see this on a map. I used to be obsessed with the physical look of the island Australia just because of kangaroos and the Tasmanian devils. I thought were really cool. Let's see, map. Oh, okay, so you're far northeast. You're like in the northeast of Australia. That's very cool. Welcome in, Yosarian. Thank you for letting me know where you are tuning in from. And good morning. Good morning to you. I heard it's early in the morning out there. Also going to say good morning to Paul Beatty, the Hotspur hippie, the one and only. Hope he's having a good morning as well. Ravi, Jacob, would you start? Play Richarlison in the early rounds of League Cup and FA Cup? I don't know. Richarlison's a very sensitive subject right now because I'm upset with him. But why not? We spent a lot of money on him. Let's just let him. Let's get something out of him. El Tel Cocorel is in the house. Big up, Jose. I'm gonna call you Jose just because that's for my dog Jose Marino. You know. But big up, El Tel Cocorel. Thank you for being here. As always supporting the channel, doing the thing, hitting them likes, hitting them comments. Let me know your thoughts. Hit your questions in, and while you do that, please do give a hearty, steamy, slightly wet welcome to Alan. Oh, I fudged that up. There you go. Alan from Time Added On, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for the slightly wet welcome. You know,
Slightly wet.
It's slightly wet. It's not full wet, but slightly wet.
Enjoyed your show earlier. I saw you on with Jay and Adrian. Adrian was in the house. He checked in a little bit ago. But obviously the news, there's the Kane thing is, I feel like, the meat of the burger, right? But let's have a little appetizer first. The deal with Ashley Phillips, allegedly. Here you go, Alan, so you can see it. Tottenham Hotspur's move for center back Ashley Phillips is set to collapse. This was 28 minutes ago, so less than 30 minutes ago. And I did a whole video, Alan, yesterday talking about Ashley Phillips, 6'4", 18 years old, and just kind of really diving into the little bit that I could find out about him. Did you know of this kid? What do you think about this? Is typical Tottenham business falling through?
So I didn't know. I knew the name and I knew who he played for, but I didn't know all about his playing style. So obviously, in doing content, where you have to look into this. So I mean, if it falls through, then we're silly as a club because he's one. For me, he's one for the future. He's got a lot of potential. I think he'll go into the academy and come through that way. I don't think he'll be the type where, I don't think he'll be the type where he'll come straight in the start. And I think he'll be, I think he's going to be one of the youngsters.
Yeah.
For me, it's not that much. How can Spurs make a mistake or on the set collapsing with a youngster? It's just Spurs being Spurs. But he's a good young player. He's playing out from the back is a bit questionable, but that will come in time. Like I don't think he's at that level. His defending's good. Obviously, he's high. For me, he's quick as well. So it's all the attributes that you'd think they would look for if they have a long-term project for Ange, that he would fit in the coming years, but like in 2 or 3 years. But for me, you know, smells of Spurs things up. But then again, we haven't got any defenders over the line really. So yeah, it's just one of the things, you know, our biggest area, and we get other things done. Madison, you know, okay, we've needed a playmaker, but we've made do without one, and we've still scored a lot of goals. A winger, okay, back up to Son, but you know, did we really need that over defenders? And obviously, goalkeeper, we need that because Hugo wants to go, so we need a thing. But for me, it's like centre backs is our problem area massively. Every Spurs fan in this chat knows that. Even rival fans knows the defence is the problem area, and they're doing absolutely nothing. Well, apparently there's loads of things going on in the background, but when you get to the things of nothing being done or no actual, you know, medicals not done, but then you see one that has taken place and it's set to fall through. It's just typical Spurs.
Yeah, it'd be really unfortunate. And this whole Mickey Van de Veen, Edmund Tapsoba thing is drawn on for very long. Yesterday, there was the quote that came out from Postecoglou. I'll go ahead and share it and read it along with y'all. Obviously, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I was more excited about Ashley Phillips. So I talked about Ashley Phillips like, okay, you know, I'm not going to knock Tottenham for doing business that I've critiqued them about before, which is grabbing youngsters from the championship that have proved it at a championship level, because I think there's something to be said about a player who could do things well in the championship and that translate over time to the Premier League. So I was really excited about Ashley Phillips. And Postecoglou did say that, yeah, we're supposed to be doing something there. It's not a secret. I think it's definitely our intention, absolutely. But it's just really unfortunate that he even did the medical. And now it's again falling through for allegedly the add-ons, the additional packages that they wanted and we don't want to pay for. And it's just like, if we're going to be paying $3 million, what was it that it said? I think they upped it to 5. Yeah. They wanted £5 million plus additional extras. All right, $5 million. Here's a Sanchez. $5 million. Here's a Dyer. In England, he's got a whole bunch of caps for England. Surely we could spice up the deal with somebody, right?
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I don't know if this comment is you know, doesn't land with you because, like it's English. It was an English TV show, but you know, even though it's 5 million, there's always something for Daniel Del Boy Levy to haggle over. Literally, there's always something where you can haggle, you can get a discount and stuff like that. And it's just like, just for once, if you've got a prospect you want to get in, just, it's 5 million. If they were asking for 15, 20 million, I'd be like, okay, he's not worth that much. But it's 5 million plus add-ons. And there'll be some Spurs fans in the comments who are Enoch and Levy in that will go, but it's not, you're only saying it because it's not your money. Sorry, they've got more than 5 million to be able to get this over the line. If like it's just okay, if they were asking for an extra zero for 50 million, then I'd understand your point. But no, the amount of see that argument, but it's not your money. No, it's the club's money. They don't reinvest in the team because they're too busy doing property development. No, I'm just done with the owners that do stuff like this the entire time. It's annoying. It really is.
I agree with you. It's a very frustrating position for, I think, a lot of Spurs fans to be in. The chat is flying. I'm going to say what's up real quick. Roy Travis, that's a new name in the chat. Says big up from South Africa. Arsenal forever. Clogged toilet is what I'm assuming that acronym stands for. I don't know. But big up Roy Travis. Big ups for being here.
I don't know what that is. That's COYG.
I know what it is. Yeah, I'm just trying to play. I do that whenever. So I have like some Chelsea friends and stuff. They'll tune in and they'll give me some shit and they'll put UTC and I'm like, oots. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Obviously, I know what UTC means, but I like to have silly fun. You know what I mean? Nothing too serious. Big up YouTube's Ian Barron's in the house. Darlington FC fan. You should support Tottenham and have some more woes. I think that'll go far for. It's a good place to be right on. Cloud Clixa, let Kane go now. We too focused on him later. We're gonna forget the main problem, which is center backs. I do agree we need to address the center back. Big up Mia. Let's see. Ashley Phillips deal. Yep. Daryl Dent. It is collapsing. It is unfortunate. I am from Wollongong in north south. I don't know. I don't know
New
what that
South
is.
Wales, Australia. Is that New South Wales? I think that's New
New
South Wales.
South Wales. Okay, so you're just south of the other dude from Australia that was tuning in. And I have a map of Australia literally pulled up. I'm not even joking. Um, I could share it with you, but I'm just like, where is these places? You know, I want to know geographically kind of where you're laying at in the island. Hotspur Hippie's in the house. Just woke up to you, man. Good morning. Good morning, Hotspur Hippie. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Always good to hear from you. Let's see. Yep, saying good morning to Paul. That is good. I'd call him right now if I could. Hit me a DM on Twitter, man, or Instagram, United Spurs of America. Hit me on one of those real quick and let me know you did. I'll drop you the link. He's a Bayern fan, Alan. YouTube's. I don't know if you've seen him in the chats
Okay.
running around.
I've seen him in my comments, but yeah, I haven't not spoken to him yet. So
Here's something that I've been seeing making the rounds on Twitter and some YouTube channels talking about it. Who is the more attractive club right now? If you look at some of the business, this is a great question, by the way, Indian Gooner. For me, it's hard to say. They've got Conference League. They've got Unai Emery from, he's got success in these European competitions, so I think he has a little clout with him. And now you're seeing a Moussa Diaby, who I didn't even know was for sale for less than 80, and apparently you could have gotten him for 50 this whole time. That blows me away. He's young, he's super pacey. I think he's way better than Kulusevski. I would have loved if we could have signed him instead of Kulusevski. But I didn't even know he was for sale. They also got Pau Torres. That's someone we've been linked with. A lot of Spurs fans highly rated him. I didn't really like him too much, but a lot of Spurs fans highly rated him. And then I think they also got Yuri Tielemans. Is their business now making them more attractive, and their European football? Is that making them more attractive from an outside, do you think, Alan?
look, if you're asking me who's the bigger club as of now, and who's more attractive, I will still say Spurs based on everything that comes with Spurs. But Aston Villa are moving like the bigger club. There's no doubt about it. They're identifying targets and they're paying the money and getting deals done quick. And we're still sitting here with no centre backs, haggling on everything. Literally, they are acting like the big club. If you were looking at them and going, like, if you're just looking at transfer activity and looking how they're moving, the money they're paying, and how quick they're getting deals done, people would go, well, Aston Villa are up there as one of the top clubs. But they're not. They're getting there because they're acting like a big club. They've got money to spend. They're spending it. They're identifying the right people for the manager, who the manager wants to buy, and it's just getting done properly. And then you see us, okay, we want this keeper Raya, and then at the last minute, we don't want to pay that, so we'll go with Vicario. Decent keeper. I'm not saying it's not, for me, a decent keeper. But then you go with the Maddison thing, going in for Maddison, because I've had him numerous times, I think, but we got him on the cheap because he's relegated. He got relegated, so we got it cheaper. I'm not saying he's not a class player, but we also got it cheaper because they've been relegated. And Solomon, a quick barn, free and all that, all that type of thing reeks of like a club that's looking. And the amount of times we hear Spurs have to live within their means, buy this and the other, when we're not a poor club. And I'm sick to death of people saying we're a poor club. We're not a poor club.
Yeah,
Excuses are made because it's filtered down through the people, like from the top, through PR going, oh, Spurs have to live within their means, and people are like, yeah, we do have to live within our means. No, we fucking don't. Sorry for swearing. It just winds me up.
You're good here. I don't really care.
Pau Torres, 33 million euros. You're saying we didn't have that to buy on the defender? Yuri Tielemans, free transfer. Obviously, people are saying that it's not the type of player we're looking for.
Fine, that's fine. Let's call that a wash. But Pau Torres walks into this squad, whether I rate him or not. Yeah. Moussa Diaby's better than any right winger we have in the club.
Yeah.
They're moving great. They're moving nice. And it makes me jealous. And I even look at our immediate rivals, Arsenal. How much money were they able to spend? We had Champions League football last season. They won just as much as we've won in the last 2 seasons. Let's have it right. So the money that they've gotten in, you could argue we should be able to spend as much as they've been able to spend. This is where I would like, Sean Butler from Spurs Talk Show, because he's the finance guy who could tell me, like, maybe I'm daydreaming thinking that we should be able to spend like Arsenal, but why can't we? Why aren't we making move? Why aren't we dropping a big bag on a player and then another on a stupid signing like Kai Havertz? I mean, I don't agree with that signing, but they dropped 60-some mil on him.
Yeah. So look, we have to identify the right people. I'm not sitting here saying that I think Spurs can go out and spend 60, 70 million on every player. I'm not saying that, and obviously we as Spurs fans, even people like Enoch and Levy, no, we can't spend 60, 70 million on every single thing. Financially, by FFP, we can, but we know we're not going to. So it's like identifying the right people in the right areas. But the last actual credible defender that came in was Romero, who has problems in regards to the way he is on the pitch. But then before that, it was Rodon. That's how bad our recruitment is. But you need to be able to spend as well as getting the recruitment right. To go, we need to get our recruitment right, but we'll just put about 3 lots of £10 million defenders in, who obviously are that valuation because they're not at the top level or really young. Then especially with the way we are with a new manager, new system, new profile, new keeper. Pretty much our entire the core of the team could go, because if Harry Kane goes, obviously Maddison's new in. You've got Bissouma, who's not really played much, who's been in. You've got the Romero, who's the defender from last season, and probably another new defender and a goalkeeper. So you need quality in there in the centre back to be able to go, okay, we've got a good structure, a good base now. But no, it's just not happening. Our club is run as a joke. I'm trying to keep it off of Enoch and Levy, because I've given some praise recently in regards to it looks like they're trying to back Ange. But again, it started off so well last summer transfer window in regards to getting people done in early. And then we were like at the end for the last couple of weeks, okay, now we need these centre-backs. Get them in. Oh, Bastoni, Bremer and Deacon get nothing over the line. And then all of a sudden it was Lenglet on the loan as a stopgap. We then get to this transfer window. And if Lenglet was a stopgap, then you have to address that first and go, okay, he was a stopgap. Now let's move mad. And we are still, however long in, and we still haven't got centre backs with 3 other deals being done. Okay, as long as they're good signings, I don't mind. But you're still waiting for those centre backs that we desperately need, and it's literally so slow moving. And I'm losing the will to live. I really am losing the will to live with this centre back.
Michael has said a good phrase for this feeling that I'm feeling about the center backs when I think about it. I just want to get a spoon and just plop my eyes out. That's what it makes me feel like. Very agitated, physically uncomfortable. I wanted 3 center backs. As soon as the season was over, I said, all right, give me 3 center backs, 2 that can walk into the club right now, or at least one that's a big name, or a Tapsoba level type of center back. Let's give me one of those. Mickey Van de Veen, you could argue, then he could challenge for that second center back spot or the left back position. I don't have any faith anymore, Alan, that we're going to get 3 center backs, personally. I want to say big up Catman Jess, another YouTube chat member in the house. Says big up Jacob and Alan, everyone in the chat. I hope you're not right about that, Brian, but I do fear it could be spot on. Brian Daigle is in the house. He said this club is a joke. If Ashley Phillips falls through, goes to show that Levy is up to his normal antics yet again. Trying to save a couple bucks, and I think that's why Van de Veen isn't in Australia right now, and that's very upsetting. Scott M., another YouTube chat member in the house, is saying Aston Villa are 100% a bigger club than Daniel Levy's Spurs. Get rid of Enoch and we go back ahead of them. That's a valid point. I would still say that we're bigger than them. They're just moving like a very large fish. Good morning, my son. I hope you had a really good nap. He just popped in. He's waving, saying hello, blowing a kiss. Oh, very sweet. That makes my day. Cloud Clicks says, is the lack of transfer activity because we don't have a sporting director or what? No sporting director didn't stop the business that we have done. We got whoever did the deal where we got Madison for under 50 and sent Winks the other way for 10. Shoo, I like that guy. I like that move right there. But then where's that energy at? You do it once. Talk to me nicely. Do it again. Let's go get another player for 10 million less that we wanted to spend, and also send a player the opposite way for a low fee, and get players off the books. I don't understand why we ain't done nothing like that yet.
Hotspur. We always take our time. We always do the wrong thing. We always take. It's just. Yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen with Madison. I thought this was going to go on all summer, us trying to save 11 million on Madison or something. That's what I thought. Make Trump president again. Quite the name. Says, forget Diaby. What I want at Arsenal is the beast Mohamed Kudus. Unfortunately, we are in on him. I did hear that some teams are in for Kudus. I do like him at Ajax. He's quite the player. And he's pretty cheap price tag. Not to mention, that's a pretty cheap price tag for someone I figure would go for a higher price. We need a change in chairman. Absolutely right. Mile High Hotspur's in the house. Big up Mile High. I hate to say it, sell Kane and let's move on.
I agree.
Also, big up my homies. We're about 30 minutes in. I think it's a good time to go ahead and get started on the
Yeah.
let's see. Yosarian came in with a comment real quick. Spurs looked very good the other night in the first half, out under the new system implemented a couple weeks ago for some, days for others. How good are we going to look when it all clicks? That's a great question. I'm going to put it this way: the fact that I didn't want to cover too much on the West Ham thing because I did talk about it on another episode. But I do want to say this for you, Yosarian, because I do agree with you when this thing clicks and how little bit of time we've had and how different we already look. I can only hope that in another month of these players drilling it into their heads that we could actually maybe make top 7.
Look,
But we need center backs.
Yeah, look, we need centre backs. So I'm looking at this from what I've seen. So at the end of the season, after Conte left and how bad we went downhill, I was just like, well, Spurs, I think we're done. My honest opinion, like off the bat, was like, we're done. And we got to the point where we were now looking at managers. I wanted Nagelsmann. That was my pick. I was like, Nagelsmann, for me, come in.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he plays different. He can play different systems. He can build a team. Plays good football. I'm all for it. So I was like him. It didn't happen, and then literally it was like Slot, and then I had to do research for Slot because I didn't know much about him. We didn't get him. Postecoglou was not on my radar at all. But from what I've seen since he's come in, I'm all on board. I think if you give him the players he wants for his system, Spurs are going to play great football. We saw it in the thing. Look, there are some fans that didn't like that game against West Ham because we lost, and they can't admit that we play good football. That football is night and day compared to what we've seen from the last 3 managers. High intensity, high press, quick passing, quick moving, creating angles, width, getting in behind. The amount of times we held width with Conte's system and we couldn't get in behind because it was that slow and people just gone, now I'm going to sit here. But we were literally simple balls inside the defender, people getting around, cutbacks, all that. And this is 1 game and 3 weeks of training. Now, I'm not saying Spurs in this first season are going to win trophy. I want us to win trophies. God, we're desperate for it. I'm not going to say we win trophies. I'm not going to say we're going to challenge for the Premier League title because I'm not delusional. But from where I thought we were going to be to where I think we will be now, I'm so much more confident going into the season. But it's with a couple of caveats. Obviously, we need defenders. This needs to be sorted. There is no way to try and set this man up, Ange, to play good football where you are just going, again, what we did with Conte was we sat back and we were like, here you go, hit our weakness, our defence. And every team took advantage. There's no way I'm going to be happy that they're going, okay, Ange, you play good attacking football. We'll give you the attack as you do that. Okay, but then you still got a massive hole in the back where one ball over the top and you've got Dyer and Sanchez, dumb and dumber, who are just going to stand and watch at times if Romero gets injured, if we don't do anything with this defence. And I'm like, you need to give him defenders. That for me, this season coming forward, if you give him the right defenders and you sort out the Kane situation, whether Kane stays or whether you get rid of Kane and have Richarlison or bring somebody else in, if you get things sorted that need to be sorted, then this is a perfect starting point for Ange to go on and have success and get Spurs back to how we want them to be. But if you literally don't do anything, and Maguire in the centre back needs that.
No, they're taking the piss.
If you literally set him up, if you don't give him everything at the start, he's literally fighting an uphill battle for the whole season. And I'm just thinking to myself, how on earth are you getting a manager in who can play that good of football, but not giving him the to be able to solidify that defence to give us the perfect start and give us the perfect chance to move forward this season? And it begs belief that it still isn't done, and there's still problems that they are not sorting out this transfer window and haven't sorted out this so far. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, It's almost SOS, right? The same old Spurs. Big up Chris
Yeah.
Agambar. Big up everyone who's tapping in with us right now live. And also big up shout out to the people who are watching this back on replay. It's about half the views we get is on replay. So want to make sure I shout those people out. Do hit that like if you are enjoying this. Participate in the poll if you are here live. Right now in first place in the question, did you happen to partake in the poll there, Alan? The question is, where are you with this Kane saga? And right now, 43% say sell Kane now and move on.
Yep.
Out of 35 votes, so
Yeah. So for me, I've said, look, I'm all up. I'm all up for admitting that Harry Kane's done everything he can for us. It's not coming from a place of hatred because obviously I don't hate Harry Kane. He's given everything to the club. Granted, in a couple of finals, he didn't take us like Drogba did for Chelsea against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, where he literally pulled him through it. Kane hasn't done that in finals, so there's a question mark to have there. But apart from that, everything he's done for Spurs, the goals, the assists, and everything like that, literally, it's one of them things where you're like, thank you for everything you've done. But there is absolutely no way that I am going to sit here and say I'm happy with how Kane's handled the situation. And I'll tell you for why. So 3 years ago with the Man City thing, he done the thing with Gary Neville. He done a thing with Gary Neville, and obviously it put doubt in everyone's mind. A really bad start to the season, so much uncertainty within Spurs, and we were playing so poor. Obviously, Nuno had a big job, big taken out as well, because he was not the manager for Spurs, and he was awful. But you had all that thing going on, and he never once came out and said, "I'm committed to Tottenham" or "I'm going to Man City." He just let everything happen. The same thing is happening again. So I hold Kane accountable for that, because the new things, stories like this that are coming out, you're literally. Basically, that's coming from a source close to him. So either he's saying it or his manager or his team saying it, but it must be coming from him that I'm looking to go or anything like that, or I'm not going to sign and see how this project is going. So he's having a hand in this. So for me, again, I hold Kane accountable for his actions, but then also lack of actions, in the fact that he's obviously, it's coming from within his circle, but he's not coming out and saying it. He might as well just come out and say, I've given everything to Spurs, because Spurs fans will be like, look, we're not going to hold you back, or thank you for everything. He has done everything he can for this club, but there's absolutely no way he should come out and say, look, I've given everything to Spurs, I want to go, or he should come out and go, I want to stay, I like the thing like that. But not saying anything is causing divide in the fan base. It's causing problems and all that. And if he's not coming out, and obviously he might even get the armbands for the start of the season if he does stay but doesn't sign a contract and may leave on a free. What's he doing to all the other footballers there at the club going, hold on, we're dedicated to Spurs, we're signing for Spurs. Son buries any interest in Saudi Arabia and saying, I'm staying here for money. All these other players can come back and say, I want to fight a thing. But our golden boy, Harry Kane, can sit there.
Silent.
Nothing. Maybe little things come out from his camp that he's looking to leave and all that. And then, again, thank you for everything like that. But I think the way he's handled it personally and the way he doesn't say anything is actually so disingenuous. It's unreal. So I've obviously have problems with him for that. But I can't deny what he's done for Spurs. But the only thing I will say, what was the last thing I was going to say? Yeah, I would, if it comes to it, I don't care if he wants to maybe sign later on down the line. If he's not committed to Spurs, sell now, take 80 to 90 million and put that with whatever money you were looking at defenders first, and get two great centre-backs in, maybe a number 6, and then you go from there. But yeah, for me, Kane has not helped the situation, and he's only got himself to blame.
I agree with you, Alan. A lot of nails hit on the head there that I couldn't have said better myself. It's so disappointing that he is our talisman. He's one of our own, but he can't say anything to us. He goes on Hot Ones talking about, I feel connected with the fans. I feel like one with the fans when they sing that song to me, is what he said on Hot Ones, which was the only time he talked about Tottenham, by the way. And I was like, okay, at least he says he feels something, right? That he feels anything when we sing for him.
Yeah.
But you don't feel close enough to us that you could communicate what you're trying to do, or you're just like, maybe he's sitting there saying, oh, this is obvious that I want to move. Let's just let the stuff leak out. To me, that's what bothers me so much, is because whether it's for money, for trophies, for moving on for something else because it's not working here. Whatever it is, I will respect his decision as a man, a father, a husband, and then a Tottenham Hotspur player. So I don't hold any ill will to the guy. Just tell me what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, for me, look, I've said, I want to ask the guys in the comments and all that. Thanks everyone for obviously your good, great messages and all that. But I want to ask you guys, if Kane was to come out literally tomorrow and say, I've done everything I can at Spurs, I've given 9 years of my career, we haven't been able to win anything like that. I feel like the time is right for me to move forward and try a different thing to win trophies. If he was to come out and say that, I for one would be like, thank you for everything, move on. I'm pretty sure. And I want to hear you guys in the comments. If Kane came out and said that, look, I've tried everything I can, I think now's the time for me to move on. Would any of you begrudge him with him or give him any hate? Or would you be like, thank you for everything, Kane. We understand, you've done everything you can, you've tried and all that. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. And we'll see him go. I think every single one of us would be like, thank you very we appreciate that. Thank you very much. Move on. But because he isn't saying anything, this is why fans are getting all up and arguing with each other about this. He comes out and says, look, I want to go for these reasons. Most Spurs fans would be like, thank you very much, good luck and all that. Yeah, just a girl who loves Spurs. I'd say good luck, Kane, and thanks for the amazing memories. I think most fans would be like that, but because he isn't saying anything, this is where fans are like, well, you literally say you love Spurs and, this is your boyhood club. But on 2 occasions, you've actually mistreated the fans and not given them what they wanted to or not given the information they needed to, and that's why, because it was toxic, wasn't it, under Nuno when he didn't say anything messy. I don't want to go into the start of the season with Ange, with a new team, and Kane dropping clanger after clanger or not showing up like he did against in that first part of the season when he said it was turned for Man City. I don't want that happening again because Ange deserves the best possible start, and that's without any distractions, anyone who does want to be there. For me, I think it's one of them things where you need to do it not just for yourself, not just for fans, but apparently for the club you like, so everyone knows where they stand.
Yeah. Scott M saying him not saying anything is him saying he wants to go. If he wanted to stay, it's easy for him to say that. Do you think it's more difficult, Alan, for him to come out and say that I want to leave rather than stay silent?
No, it's not, because he knows this fan base adores him and all that. Scott M, you're completely wrong, because he didn't come out and say anything and say he wanted to go. And then when he stayed and all that, he started saying after that, when he stayed with Man City, he started saying, no, I wanted to, I'm always Spurs, I wanted to stay and all that. He was trying to put a spin on it. So I'm sorry, that's wrong. You're wrong again. Simple as.
Fair enough. Jazz Jones says, we know Kane wants to leave. He can't put in a transfer request. He loses money. If he goes to Bayern, he's done us a massive favor. I don't know if I see it as a favor if we get underpaid for the value of what he's worth.
Yeah.
I think the currency exchange rate too leaves a little bit to be desired when you're talking about 80 million euros. That's coming out to like 68 million pounds. 68 million pounds for the best English striker in the world. That's absurd to me. I don't know. It's tough. Let's see what else they're saying here in the chat. Cloud Clicksless says, I would salute him and wish him luck. YouTube saying Bayern fans are sick and tired of the Kane saga. Waste of a preseason. I mean, they did score about 50 some goals on some other side I've never heard of, but I think they you're still having fun out there in the preseason. Yosarian says, I'm here for Ange and by extension the club, not any one player. Come on, you Spurs. Fair enough. And that's the thing is we're not Harry Kane FC. We're Tottenham Hotspur FC. And at the end of the day, no club has ever been bigger than, or no player has ever been bigger than the club. So I think it's high time something happens. But there is something else I wanted to show. Well, look, this is what it is. Oh, you can't see that. Hang on.
Oh, well, you have seen this picture.
Yeah, hang on. I'll fix this. Hang on. It's a little technical issue. I'll fix it. There was a tweet saying that apparently Wayne Rooney's saying that we're holding him hostage. That he's making it out like we're holding him against his will.
Hold on. To a point, he's got Wayne Rooney's got a point, because what happened with Man City, Daniel Levy is pretty much, pretty much according to Rooney, Kane is being held So basically, Kane when he wanted to go Man City, Levy was pretty much doing that. But the fact is now, the reason why like this is happening is under that thing with Man City, Levy treated Kane like an idiot, basically, in the way he was like, "No, you're not going this, that, and the other." Now Kane holds all the cards. A year left to go on his contract. He could go for free, a big payday, like within 6 months to a year and all that. He could literally, and when I say 6 months, like they could start, I think, doing it for like a deal for free for him to go to other clubs. He goes on a free. A player of Harry Kane's caliber that goes on a free, you're going to have a guarantee. Man U, Chelsea, probably even you could even have Man City at some point come in for a free and with a payday. PSG, Bayern Munich, probably even Real Madrid, Barcelona. If you say Harry Kane is on a free, clubs will be lining up and going, okay, we'll give him the biggest payday. We'll give him 500 grand or something like that. That's because to have him of his ilk going on a free is absolute mismanagement. But because they mismanaged it and put his and literally don't really put his, Kane's nose out of joint with Man City, now Kane's doing the same thing back to us. A little bit harsh because it comes from what was that? Sorry, a little bit harsh because
Mike, yeah, because he has to deal with the devil himself, Levy.
Look,
And as far they're saying some people feel like he can't say anything because it would negatively affect him and everything that they're trying to do. How do you feel about that?
I don't think it would negatively affect him because he's going in a year, and you're telling me you're going to let a player like Harry Kane sit on the bench. It's not. For me, that makes no sense. In regards to that, Kane now holds all the cards. He's literally got the meeting at the palm of his hand. He's going to be literally either going on a free, or we're going to lose a lot of money on him, or we need to get him out and get him to a foreign league, obviously away from the Premier League. You don't really want him going to a Man United or a Chelsea. You want him away from the Premier League so he doesn't come back to haunt you. Yeah, he holds all the cards, and because Daniel Levy mismanaged it, and I'm pretty sure Kane's going, okay, you done that to me, I'm going to do this to you.
So there's also Echo brings up a good point here. Pundits more bullshit. They don't want Kane at Spurs. Do you think he's gotten such a negative media attention since his birth of a career? I feel like he's always been dogged on. Is that because he's at Tottenham? Do you think it will change if he does go somewhere else? Maybe they'll be a little nicer because they're more biased. I don't know.
I don't think it comes from a place of hate. I think the way they see it as pundits, and I think Spurs fans see it as well, is the fact that a player of his quality hasn't won a trophy, and they believe it's Spurs that's holding him back. They think if he was a better club, he'd win trophies. And look, he would. I'll be honest, if he was at Man City through his whole career, he would have won trophies. Chelsea would have won trophies. Arsenal would have won trophies. Liverpool would have, in every single club. Hell, he would have been at Leicester and won trophies. Spurs are the only club that he wouldn't have won trophies with because we haven't won trophies.
Mm-hmm.
That's
true. Good point.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, in regards to that, with pundits and all that thing, he has to go to win trophies so he doesn't become, like an also-ran. Although he's a quality player, great goals, great assists and all that, he becomes but he never won anything. So yeah, for me, it's one of them where, to a point, they're right.
Yeah. Scott says if Kane wanted to stay, he would come out with a statement like, son. For me, though, like, have you ever been in a situation where, you've gone on a couple dates with a girl and then she just stops texting? You're like, well, what happened? And you're like, I'd much rather know that you're no longer interested in what I can do for you and that you want to pursue something else than getting ghosted, essentially. Harry Kane's ghosting us. We're sitting here waiting by the phone every day. What's Harry Kane gonna say? Is he gonna admit he loves us or what?
Scott M, he wanted to go Man City 3 years ago. We all know that. Where was his statement coming out and saying, I want to go to Man City? He kept quiet, like he's keeping quiet now.
Yeah, that bothers me. And then, but what I will say is different. He wasn't around for the whole preseason. He wasn't even there for the first match of the season. At least we've got this picture right here of a smiling Kane. I mean, he's having a good time out there down under. He's playing golf with James Madison, and apparently Eric Dyer's injured, but he can play fucking cricket for whatever you want. To me, this whole trip is kind of hilarious but exciting for the football side, but then also like, what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. I just distracted myself from what I was trying to segue to because I started thinking about Eric Dyer playing cricket. And of course, he could suit up and play cricket, but you don't want to play any preseason minutes, of course. Big up everyone. Our beloved Tottenham Hotspur aren't a one-man team. We used to play as a team. Time to get back to that.
Exactly.
So, on this point, Alan, do you think what we saw in that first 45 is it just a matter of Kane and Madison not being on the same page, or do you think maybe the way we're going forward and playing as a unit maybe doesn't suit his play style?
Look, people will say, look, I've spoke to a lot of Spurs fans who have seen, not Spurs fans, but other fans as well, who are a fan of Postecoglou. And they've said all the time, Alan, so when I said, sorry, what was that? Sorry?
Alan,
when I said ain't going to Bayern does us a massive favour, makes sense then, laugh out loud. Yeah, well, yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, in regards to the whole thing with how we played, look, the first half was with people that literally haven't been there as long as the others under Ange. They've come back late, jet lag and all that. So it was one of them where it's going to take time for them to get to know each other in their games. But from what we saw in the second half, and also we've still played good football in the first half, but the second half where we looked the best, they're the people that have been with Ange since obviously he first came into the club and they've been here the whole time and all that. And we looked with our youngsters and our second string and all that, we looked great. Look, you got to improve. I'm not saying we're playing better football than Man City or Arsenal, but compared to what we saw, that absolute dross football we saw under Conte, under Nuno, and for the majority under Mourinho, for that absolute horrendous football, this is night and day. This is literally 1-2 passing, interchanging, little balls inside the channels, linking up, the passing, moving, the switch and play quickly, high pressure, high energy, high octane football. We haven't seen none of this since Poch, and for me, that's why I'm all in. And you're getting players. We heard from people last year, the people that were defending Conte, in the fact that you can't get these type of footballers to play the type of way you wanted. Ange's done it in one game.
That's kind of crazy, ain't it?
One game.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, less than 3 weeks. Now, people go, calm down. Look, I'm not saying we're going to be world beaters this season, but if that's the type of football we're going to play, the games where we struggle, obviously when you come up against low block teams to sit in, you need to still find a way to win. We didn't do that with, we played on the counter with all these, we played counter-attack with Conte and Mourinho and all that, fair enough. So we've got to find a way to beat the low block teams. But again, we've always found that hard because even under Poch, there was games we should have won under Poch that we couldn't beat or break low block teams down. So we've got to find a way to do that. But if we can, and we get the players in we need and we improve, then the season isn't looking that bad. If the season isn't looking as bad as I thought. So I'm looking forward to the season. I was dreading the season.
I almost pressed back on my internet browser, so I would have accidentally left you all alone here, Alan. I'm glad I didn't. You know how if you're on a Mac and you two finger swipe one way, it'll go backwards or forwards on the browser. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, that super distracted me. I did see this. Let me refresh it and see what the replies are looking like. So, a pretty big Hotspur Twitter fan account said this. Would you rather sell Kane for £100 million plus this summer and replace him, or let him leave on a free next summer with many clubs interested? I mean, I feel like this is a little slanted of a question, but I thought that maybe the people's responses would give us another taste test of maybe people who aren't here that could give us a little outlook on how they feel. So fans, sell him, invest, not my money or yours. Let him stay, then leave. So that's kind of the point that I was making earlier too. Let me see. Let me hide this comment, make it a little easier to see. Let's see. Vote below. Let's see what this poll looked like. Let's say sell them. All right. How many votes? So this is a good little test too. Cause I like polls. I feel like it's an anonymous way to share your opinion without feeling like you're going to get dragged about it. Yeah. So the question: if Harry Kane does not intend to sign a new contract at Spurs, would you rather sell him this summer or lose him? And 36.9% say let him walk next summer. just straight out, how are you feeling, Alan? Are you saying sell him regardless of the deal, or the deal needs to be? There's so many variables to it. I think like a question like this is very easily misconstrued, right? Because I want to sell Harry Kane, but not if it means not getting what he's worth. I need yeah, Echo. It is all up to Levy, but that's the thing is like, it really. I feel like Levy's not going to sell unless you meet him with an offer that he sees is valuable enough, and Bayern haven't met that. So how do we sell him?
So look, Bayern Munich in a deal, and obviously Daniel Levy will know this better than anyone because he does it all the time. We're saying, okay, for 100 million, they're going to come in at 60, 70, and you try and meet somewhere in the middle. At the end of the day, Daniel Levy's got to expect this because he does this to so many people. So he can't start going, oh, you can't do that because you do it yourself. We have to sell him this transfer window if he doesn't want to stay, or if there's any inkling he doesn't want to stay. And I'll tell you for what. People go, oh, it's not money, it's not his money. That is just the weakest, wettest answer I've ever heard in my life. At the end of the day, Harry Kane is a asset to Spurs. Okay, he's come through our academy, and people go, well, he cost us nothing, so everything. No. What do? If you buy something of value and all that, and you get to the point where you still got a thing on, but you're looking to upgrade or you're looking to move on and get something different, you want to sell at best price you can. You don't just go, oh, that's got a lot of miles left on it, or like a car, but I'm just gonna have one wheel and let it go free. No, you try and get as much money on it as you can. This is what it's like with Harry Kane. Now, people go, oh, but they ain't offering the right amount. But from every Spurs fan that I've spoke to on my channel, or I've seen in comments here or on Twitter, how much people have gone from as crazy as 150 million for Kane this season, bearing in mind he's on his last year of his contract, so you're not going to get 150 million, to people going, I'll take 60 million for him, which is too cheap. So the idea is that it's going to be somewhere in the middle in regards to, 100 to 80. For me, I think anywhere between, on the last year of his contract, 80 to 90 million is a fair price. And if Bayern Munich do eventually hit that, or if anyone comes in and hits that, I would take it because it might go to a rival this summer if they come in with a price. And if you take 80 or 90 million, at least you get something back for it. There's no point, especially if we do not sell him and let him go to a free to a rival, Man United or Chelsea. Heck, even Arsenal could come in for like if he goes on a free.
There's no way I could not.
Hold on. No. I'm just saying if he goes on a free, and I don't think, because let's be honest, people were saying that about Sol Campbell. He walked straight across. He would never do what he did to Spurs. And this is not me bad mouthing Poch, because he got offered a job and he took it. I don't like him being at Chelsea, but he got offered a job and he took it. But if he's walked to Chelsea, going to Chelsea or Arsenal for Harry Kane on a free would be thinking. People go, but he won't do it. But we've seen it happen with our club twice now, Sol and Poch. So for me, you need to cash in on him. You need to get as much value for him as possible and try and get him away from this league. So if Bayern Munich come in and go 80 million, take him, he's yours. Not saying, oh, he's crap, we've got to get him out, because obviously he's not. He's a quality player. But if he doesn't want to be at this club, he will have a negative impact on Spurs on the pitch. And then if we don't get the right money, we let in an asset, because if he goes for free next summer, he's not going to Bayern Munich. He's staying in the Premier League. And then he'll go to one of our rivals for free. And people don't seem to be able to understand that. If he goes for a free next season, he is no way going to Bayern Munich. He is staying in the Premier League, and we can't allow that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want him to stay in the Premier League. But when you say, let's just take the 80 mil, is it pounds or is it? It just updated. Now it's 37%, not 39.
Yeah, £8 million. £8 million, not euros. £8 million.
Because, so Kate brought up a good point too. Let me see. Let me find that comment. And Jacob, he's only worth what someone will pay for him. For me, he's 80 million pounds with a year left. If that was 2 years left, it's 130 million pounds.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that.
I do agree with that, but like, I guess if no one's willing to pay what we value him at, then we got to say how much are his goals and assists and impact on a game? How much is that worth for 12 months of that, whatever that is? Because I guess that's how low I would be willing to go. But if he could replicate 30 goals again let's say he doesn't and he does 25 goals, and James Madison is now a guy who has 10, 12 goals on our team. Son now is 18, 19 goals in a season. Kulusevski hopefully at least scores something, the bastard. But is that then how much is that worth to us to lose out on those 25 goals up front? Because Richarlison's not going to give us those 25 goals up front, and to get something similar to what we paid for Richarlison for Kane, that feels icky to me. That feels nasty, like dirty business.
So for me, look, I think because obviously what Kane's done for us over the years, we've got into the mentality as a fan base in the fact that if we don't have Harry Kane, we're not going to score. And that's actually not the case. If you look back with Poch with attacking football, when Kane got injured and we got past Man City and Ajax on the way to get into the Champions League final. The rest of that season, we still maintained in the league. There's been times where we've been without Kane with injuries, and also that was under Poch, where we still maintained and got European football and got Champions League football when he was out for about a month to 2 months to that. We were still scoring goals, and it was shared equally amongst Eriksen, Son, and I can't remember some of the other players now because my Dele Alli and all that. So it got spread around. So for me, I think we've got into the mentality of the fan base. As soon as Kane goes, we can't score. That's not the case. I think if you take Kane out of the team and Richarlison, whereas Richarlison doesn't get 30 goals, you say, I reckon Richarlison in a team where everything is going through him and he's in the and he suits the way Ange plays, I think you see him to any between 10 to 15 goals. I then see the Son bags 15 to 20. I think you'll find that Kulu chips in, Madison, whether you keep under Bello de Celso or anything like that. I think Solomon as well. I think you see all these goals coming from all different areas. And I think it's one of them things. I'm not saying we're not going to miss Harry Kane and we're not going to score as many with him, but I don't think it's as bad as what people are expecting. I think
I definitely don't think it's.
You take Kane out, Spurs won't score, we'll get relegated, and it's just not that. We were.
I agree.
Before Kane, we'll be in the Premier League after Kane.
I do agree with you. I think it's a little bit like Chicken Little mentality to say Kane leaves, we're getting relegated. And it's a little bit of a simple argument, too, to say, well, if you take his goals out of last season, that's relegation for him. I think that's a little cheap as well because someone's going to play in that position and get a percentage of those goals. So then the numbers wouldn't actually add up to us being in relegation form. So I think it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting debate. It's just, what are our actual goals this season? Because if it's actually to try and win a Carabao or an FA Cup, because legitimately those are the only two things that we have a chance in hell, even if but obviously we have to improve. Let me preface that so I don't get clipped saying we're going to win an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. But surely Kane as our sole striker playing up front in this Ange system, goals coming from everywhere, like you said, because I agree. I think Son's going to have double the goals he had last season. I think some of those goals are going to be taken away from Kane and shared amongst, but James Madison, he loves getting over 20 goal contributions a season. That's immediate impact, giving us goals somewhere. And it's not just going to be Kane that he's feeding the ball to. It's going to be Basuma. It's going to be, we saw a lot of exciting things, I think, for West Ham. So, but I just think we have to look at what are our goals here, because like I was trying to say, if our goal is to actually go on and compete for a Carabao or an FA Cup, we have to keep Kane. It's worth 80 million euros to me to have him fighting for us in those situations. But if our goal is to just see an improvement on what we saw last season and like really start kicking off the Ange era, if that's what we're trying to do, then we got to sell him and beefing up that thing for the future. That's how I feel about it. And so it's a huge variable thing. And there was a comment earlier, I don't have it started or nothing, but someone said it's really, I think it was Daniel Field, shout out Daniel, said that's a really like hard question of the poll, right? It's like, would you rather sell him or lose him on a free? It's like, obviously you don't want to lose him for a free, but like it comes into play, how much do you value whatever it is the object of this season is, right? Because then going into the season, you're going to have some kind of target. I know our board is saying we want top four because obviously they want that chunky cheesecake. But for me, I want an FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and I'll take one this year. And I think our best chance to do that is with Harry Kane leading the line. That's just how I feel. So it's worth keeping him if you're not giving me an offer that I see is suitable. And I think £90 million to £100 million is a fair asking of any club in the world that wants to come in and have Harry Kane. That's fair asking. And if you don't want to meet that, that's fine. Roll your dice. I think Levy's fine with rolling his dice and hoping that, I don't know, man. We're in such a weird place.
Don't really want to overprice it though, because then you price everyone out, and people will be like, "Well, I'm not going to overpay when I can possibly get him on a free." So you don't want to you don't want to overprice it. I saw a question by Just to Go Who Love Spurs to me, Alan, about comparing Sol to Poch.
Yeah.
That's it. I didn't compare them. I just said that fans say, like when I said about he could leave on a free and go to a rival, I didn't compare him. People said, "Oh, Harry Kane won't do that," but I said you've seen it twice. Sol doing it with Arsenal and Pochettino going to Chelsea. So it has happened twice to Spurs before. So if Harry Kane goes on a free and Chelsea come in and go, here's 500,000 a week, Harry Kane's head will be turned. It will look as a payday instead in the Premier League. So for me, I think his head could be turned by a thing, but I'm not comparing them two together. I'm basically saying that it has happened. Oh no, it's fine. No need to apologise. It's fine. I'm just saying that two examples have happened where Sol Campbell, one of our own, went to Arsenal, and Poch, who would never do that to Spurs, went to Chelsea. So yeah, it has happened before.
Yeah, and I mean, didn't one of our other greats like Glenn Hoddle or something also play for Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it happens, and I don't blame him at the end of the day, but I just really feel like as a club, as fans, we got to ask ourselves, what are our aspirations for next season? If it's just to improve and to start changing our ethos and building what we're starting here, I'm fine with that. So let's just go get our money's worth of him, and let's get in a young striker like a Vlahovic who can learn and play that role. I don't know. I just threw a name out there, the first one that popped in my head, because obviously if we sell Kane, then we should be able to afford him. But it's interesting. Let me see. What's the chat saying here? Phil, I gotta go up at 5 a.m. for work. Big up Jacob and Alan. Keep up the good work. Big up Phil. You are always welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Let's see where. I love Hotspur Hippies comments always. Chelsea or shit. Kane won't go there. Easy enough. Simple enough. Perchy says, sorry, losing Kane on a free is simply ludicrous.
Agreed.
Kane will go to Chelsea if the deal is right and they ask the project.
Yeah.
Kane to Bayern is the right deal for our club. I agree. I mean, because obviously you'd rather, like we've said before, you'd rather him play in another league than play for a rival, someone you're gonna have to see twice, potentially 3 times a season. I just don't. I don't know. I can't see him doing it. I can't see him do. It's one of those things where your brain can't process the image that you are watching or seeing, and it's like failure to compute or something. I would not be able to picture it. Yeah. Mike says Poch's scenarios were different than Sol and Kane. Poch was out of a job, and Spurs had a chance to sign him.
But we didn't. We had the chance, but we never went in for him. But he still, after all his thing, I would never do this to Spurs, this, that, and the other. He still did. So words are meaningless when you have somebody who needs a job and needs money. So Kane will be in that position. He'll need a team and he'll need money. And Chelsea will give him Premier League football and probably about 400, 500 grand a week. So yeah, it's one of them things where money talks.
I agree with you. Sorry, I just keep muting myself. My son is doing his growling thing. He wants to watch TV, and we have to hold him. We got to set some boundaries for the boy, or else he thinks he runs things, and that ain't how it work out here. Big up everyone in the chat who's tapping in. We are an hour and 10 minutes in. Still got a good hefty amount of y'all watching. Go ahead and hit that like. I see we're on 40 likes. Let's see what the poll's looking like. 48 votes. So 8 people want to come to the party, but they don't want to bring the free beer. What's that about? Alan, that's how I see it. You want to partake in the poll. You want to listen to what we're saying. All you got to do is do something free and hit that like. It doesn't cost nothing. It's free beer that you're bringing to a party.
Guys, this is what I say on my channel, and I urge you to do it as well. That like button is absolutely free. just hit it for free, and just feel what it's like to be Daniel Levy. Just to go for the freebie. Feel like what it's like to be Daniel Levy, and you never know, you might come around to his way of thinking. But yeah, take advantage of that. Slap that like button, get a freebie, and just feel what it feels like to be Daniel Levy for once. It's okay.
I like that. That's a good way of putting it. Just a girl who loves Spurs saying, I value Kane massively, but I'd rather take less money and sell him to Bayern than keep him and risk him going for a free to United. So I guess then in my valuation of things, regardless of aspirations, it is still like this is I don't know. I just feel like you're operating to do it this way would be like operating under the fear that he's going to for sure sign for United. And we don't know what Kane wants. No one knows where Kane wants to go. Maybe his wife is dead set that Bayern sold him so good this summer that next summer she's like, my heart's still set on Germany and all the lederhosen and all the beer and bratwurst they got out there. That could very well be the case. We don't know these things. So when people say like, oh, Kane for sure feels this way or he wants this, I find it a little silly because like, if it's Charlie Kane saying it, I might believe it. If it's Kate, if it's one of his kids saying it, the butler maybe. But then you start getting outside of that, and now I'm like, well, okay, even though you're a big journo on Twitter or whatever, like how valid is this really?
So look, for me, I will be honest. I think that, okay, she may want to go to Germany, but there is absolutely no way that they want to up sticks and move to Germany when they've just bought that house or that property like in in London where the golf course is near where Harry Kane wants to look. For me,
rich people have a lot of houses everywhere though. I don't put any stock in that.
No, what I'm saying is I'm positive that literally their aim, if they can, is either if it works out with Spurs and literally we do so well like under Poch, I'm pretty sure that, under Postecoglou, sorry, because we were talking about Poch, under Postecoglou, it's going well, then Kane might be like, I'm staying at Spurs, I see the project, I see the stuff like that. That's absolutely brilliant. That'd be a positive. But it's taking out risk in the fact that he's not going to sign in the summer. So that when we have to absolutely smash it for him to stay, which I don't want to take that risk. In regards to, where he's going to go, look, people say, oh, we take 70 or 80 million for Harry Kane is too low. But let's say if we don't. Let's say if we don't take 70 or 80 million, he does go to Man United or Chelsea on the free. He could score goals against us that cost us money and revenue from qualifying for Champions League or winning a cup and all that. He may cost us more than what it is to sell him, So we may take 10 or 20 million less by Munich, but he may cost us more next season if he goes for free and stays in the Premier League, if he scores past us, knocks us out of trophies, beats us in a cup final, something like that. For me, I think that you take less now to stop him taking money off us in the future as a potential with, knock us out of cups or taking European football away from us.
I mean, who's to say he doesn't do that, right? Go to Man United on a free and roll his ankle in preseason and has to sit out the entire season, does nothing, and we get top 4 and United miss out on top. That's what I'm saying is like at the end, anything can happen, right? We can play out scenarios where he's going to cost us money, but like, I just think operating under the notion of like Harry Kane's going to either knock us out of something and we lose money, which is very possible if he stays in the Premier League, but to force, it's like forcing our hands unnecessarily, I feel like, if we're operating under that pretense, because like, I don't know. I don't necessarily feel, shout out Kate. I just don't feel like, people, you said the house being built in Cobham. I know it's in Cobham. I looked it up. It's in Cobham, the ham of the Cob.
That's Chelsea, by the way.
Yeah, right by that was the start of the whole conspiracy. I love a conspiracy theorist, Alan. You know me. I love putting the tinfoil hat on and having some fun. But I just see it like, man, rich people have houses everywhere all the time. Him building a house next to a golf course, that could be for when he retires. That could be his summer home. That could be where his family resides when they want to stay in London. Or he may. I just feel like everyone's saying, you did say there's no way that he does X, Y, and Z. I mean, there's no way Dave Chappelle walks away from $400 million from Comedy Central to live in Jamaica for a year, but he did. And so it's like, these no ways, they do happen. It is still a stretch to say, that maybe next year they would want to go to Germany over stay in England. I Why would he go to Manchester United if he's building a house in Cobham? How far? You tell me. How far away is United? How far is old Fartford? How far away is that from Cobham?
It's about 4 hours. It's about 4 hours by car. Like,
so if we're operating under the notion that he's going to want to stay relatively close to this new home he's building, why would he go to United? Surely it's got to be Chelsea then, right?
But I don't want to say it too much because I don't want to put it out there. I'm trying not to manifest it. I'm trying to keep away from it. It's like Beetlejuice. You say things too many times.
It's crazy.
I don't want to do that. Go Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. And he goes to Chelsea. I don't want to do it.
This has been the summer of Beetlejuice, no lie, for me, from a weird standpoint, because like January, I'm saying, let's go get Mickey Van Der Veen. We can get him for cheap before the summer. And then in the summer, we're actually linked with him. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And then another team I follow, PSV, I was like, man, we should go get Xavi Simons. And then we're linked. PSG are offering him plus cash, right? There's that rumor that comes out. I'm like, what is going on? Is someone listening to what I say and then like just throwing the rumor out to a journo? What's going on here? But the Perchy, the like button means more than you will realize. The more likes, it pushes our content out to people. Ain't that so right? And I love the community of content creators that support content creators. Like Alan's redirected to me, I redirect to him. I think you have to be over 1,000 subs to redirect, and I redirect to Hotspur Hippie. The thing is, whoever's live, even if they're a rival fan, like they're still a content creator, a lover of the sport. No, Alan, we're not. Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck rivals.
Alan, you've been spot on tonight. You need to bash out your opinion more on your own channel.
I don't want to bash anything out on my channel. I just want to keep it.
E1 Sun says take a lower offer and put in big add-ons.
Yeah.
Now, if we do a lower fee and you give me a bright young player or something that we think might not a Gnabry, why not Sane?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move Son to striker. Let Sane play on the left wing.
I think it's look. I honestly don't think.
Give me 60 and Sane. I'll take that.
Yeah. No, that's well overpriced. That's way too much. They wouldn't do that.
They said they'd taken 20 for Sane. Or not Sane, Mane, the dude from Liverpool. I keep getting Leroy Sane and Mane mixed up. I mean Mane, Sadio Mane. So allegedly they're trying to get rid of him for 20. I know he's a little bit older, but if we get 60 mil plus Sadio Mane, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right.
I think that's asking a bit too much. I think that's like literally, that's putting way too much. But for myself, look, I don't think a swap deal is going to happen with Bayern. I think it's going to be money. But E1 Sun, I think, basically said about like have it about 60, 70, but with loads of add-ons, as many add-ons as you can to get the money over time.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a realistic possibility. But by the sounds of it, he's only going if we get the money up front. And then that means that it's just going to be either we have to perform well for him to stay, or we're going to take a massive loss on Harry Kane, or maybe he walks for free. And I don't want to risk it. It's Perchy.
It is risky. But sometimes in order to risk it, you got to risk, or there was a saying, you got to risk it to get the biscuit. And in the UK, a biscuit's actually a cookie. So, like, that's a lot better than the American bit. Because, like, sometimes I'm like, I don't have any water. I don't want a biscuit. It's just going to dry out my mouth. But in the UK, a biscuit is a cookie, like a chocolate chip cookie, right?
So look, what you call cookie for all biscuit, but I'm sorry, Jacob. I love you, but you're wrong. Cookie is a cookie, and a biscuit is a biscuit.
So
it's fine. Like, we won't get into the whole
biscuit. Yeah, there's such a. It's fun, right? It's just fun. I was about to go on a super weird tangent, and I'm not going to do it. I was going to say how, like, fuck it, I'm going to do it real quick.
Go for it.
It's interesting. Like, in the UK, they speak English. We speak English here. But, like, there's a difference in the, like, it's still a loss in translation, right? Like, biscuit, the loo, different things like that we call different words. And so it's funny because, like, my mom speaks Spanish, and she's from Mexico. But my stepdad is from Puerto Rico, and they speak Spanish too. And so I remember as a kid, like, oh, there's different words they say in Puerto Rican Spanish than what they say in Mexican Spanish. And then there's Spaniard Spanish, which is a totally different Spanish, but they're all similar. It's interesting, I didn't mean to get into a whole discussion of dialects and such, but
just words and meanings and all that, like, and dialects have changed over the years, and it's just. Yeah, it will continue to change. I think in about 1,000 years, pretty much most of the words we speak now will not be in existence. They'll be completely different words. So,
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
Perchy says having Kane come back to White Hart Lane and scoring against us will be terrible. We will go for about another 10 minutes, Alan, if you're good with that. If you have any,
because I'm getting old, so I need sleep.
Yeah, no worries. I did want to keep this at an hour and a half, 90 minutes. I feel like we could get a good 90-minute shift. You're not Tanguy and Dembele, so we could get a 90-minute shift from you.
I feel like Tanguy and Dembele.
Did you have a big dinner?
I'll see the 90 minutes for you. I'll see it through, mate.
If y'all got any questions, hit them in the chat and we will get to them real quick before we end off. Bloody hell, Jacob has thrown a spanner in the works. Talking about the Cobham move.
Yeah, and then
absolutely love this stream. You two make a great double act. Yeah, I love Alan. This is what, the third time we've had you on the channel?
Yeah, third time.
Third time, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Wow! Just to go, I love Spurs. Just called me Alan and Ndombele. How dare you? To be fair, I think he's a baller. I think he'll ball out this year under Ange. So I'll take that as a half compliment.
Big up, Ben.
Where we're at the end of the season. We'll see if that's a proper compliment or not.
It could be. I mean, imagine he comes in, puts in a few shifts, bags 20+ goal contributions. What are we saying then for Tanguy and Ndombele? Let me ask you this. This wasn't actually a question I was going to ask. If you had to keep one, Ndombele or Lo Celso, which one are you keeping and why?
So for me, I would say I've said all along it would be Ndombele because I've seen Ndombele play good at Spurs, and he done well under Mourinho for a time.
Some magic in there.
But then it went tits up. With Lo Celso, I didn't really see much of him. Like, he really didn't have any good performances. He had the odd one or two in a cup, and then he had the assist against Man City, but he never done anything stand out, whereas Ndombele did at times. So it would be him. But I'm going to say this. For me, it doesn't matter who I would take out of the two. If Ange can take either of them or both of them and get them playing and get a tune out of them, and it is better for Spurs, then either one of them can stay. It's as simple as that. I think Ange can get the best out of. We saw he can get the best out of Lo Celso, or he played well in the first game. I think when Ndombele comes back, I think he might get the chance to do the same thing. He's got to take it, but if he can get a tune out of both of them, I'm here for it all day long.
Hey, I mean that. I've always said, and I try to remain consistent, which is if Ange can get a tune out of him and Ange wants him, then I'm all for it. Jacob, you do not speak English. Can you do an English accent? I can do a horrible one if you want. I don't think we only got a limited time. I don't know if the viewers want to hear me butcher it. There was one time I spent a night in an airport.
I'm here for it. Go on. Go on.
There was one time. Okay, so I was in college and let's just say I had a lot of fun in college. So I'm overnight in an airport in the DFW, and it's a big, big airport, one of the largest in the world. And I was going around acting like I had an English. I was drinking early in the morning because the bars open like 8 a.m. there in the airport. And so I had been drinking heavily, and I've been like slurring my words, and someone was like, "Oh, are you from England?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm from Liverpool," or something like that. And so I was just like, then he was like going around being like, "Hey, this guy's from Liverpool." And it was like, it was a time in my life in which it's quite funny and quite embarrassing. The guy added me on Facebook, and I always wonder like if he ever double backed and checked to see if that was true or not. But yeah, I don't have a good one. It's probably better after I've had some drinks, to be honest.
I want to hear it.
I want to hear it.
Yes, I want to.
I do better if I'm just trying to like repeat after you. You know, if you do.
Okay. I want to hear it.
I want to hear it. Is that good? No, was that pretty bad? It sounded all right on my end.
I wasn't too bad. It was a bit posh. But it was good. Oh my god, that was actually better. Also, sometimes like the first couple words could start out okay, and then it'll delve like slightly Scottish, or it'll go slightly Australian. I want to hear it.
I want to hear it. Please, sir, can I have some more?
Oh,
more? Wow. You know, the old classic scene. Wow. Yeah. So it's not a good one, admittedly. But I bet after, if Alan, if I have a few drinks, you have a few drinks, we're both going to think it's a much better accent. I'll put it that way.
I thought it was quite good, to be fair. I want to hear your apparently you do a good Australian.
No, I just do famous Hollywood lines. That's not a knife. Nah, this is a knife. Or, when Ange Postecoglou going to put a few shrimp on the Barbies.
You're sounding
But
more
then-
English there.
But then they don't say it's not actually shrimp in Australia. They call it something else like Nords or some shit, some weird glorps. Someone from Australia, tell me what y'all call shrimp because you actually, Paul corrected me whenever I did say something about shrimps on the Barbie. He's like, but we actually don't call them shrimps, mate. We call them Godords or something. I don't know. I don't know what they call them. Great show, guys. Big up. Let me see. I was gonna read this. Antonios Vorias. Loving the show, Alan and Jacob. Good day, Kate. Good day, Perchy. Hope you're all well. Big up, Antonios. That's a new name in the chat. Hope you're keeping well. I'm afraid to see what some of these comments are going to say about my accent here. Great show, guys. Enjoyed it. Good day, Jim. No center backs yet. That is a big side. Jacob trying to be serious. I need to hear it. Yeah, I know you like to come in here and disrupt. No worries, Kate. But yeah, go check out Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, new channel out there on YouTube. Go show some support to other content creators. It said it's decent. They said it's decent. There we go.
Decent, to be fair.
They said good. All right. I was in Florida. I asked someone if I could bum a cigarette. They said, "Oh my God, you can't say that here. You'll get shot." Oh yeah, that's true. That 3-letter word. That's fighting words for some people. Gotta be careful there. Do your Aussie Ange accent. That's not a knife. I love training with Tottenham Hotspur. It's been a great experience. There. Is that pretty good? Was that pretty bad? It usually sounds better to me than it sounds to everyone else. At least that's what my wife says about my singing.
Yeah.
Thought you were from Buckinghamshire. That doesn't sound like a real city.
Not Buckinghamshire. We're not the Hobbits. We're not like Lord of the Rings. It's not Shire. It's Buckinghamshire.
Sheer. Okay. Buckinghamshire?
Yeah.
Not Shire. Shire. Lord of the Rings.
It's not Shire. We're not going to take the one ring to more.
Oh, that's great. Milton Nobrega says, keep up the great work, boys. Love hearing you guys get me through the day at work. Hey, hope you have a great rest of your day at work. Hopefully you had a good morning with us out there for our Australian brothers. Spurs without Kane means relegation battle, but we probably stay up thanks to Sonny.
So doom and gloom, Scott. So doom and gloom. Really.
Scott, I want to hug you, man. I want to give you a real good hug. Prawns, that's what it is. Prawns. We don't call them shrimps out here. We call them prawns. That's what I got. Your Australian accent sounds British, Jacob. We call shrimp prawns. Ain't that right? All right. See, prawns. Yeah, prawns. When Paul came on, he said, prawn, mate. All right. I'm going to stop doing it because they're probably going to get offended and be like, this fucking guy. He does such a horrible accent. Jacob, with that accent, you could be in the royal family. Which accent? I don't know. They kick. I would be. They wouldn't let me anywhere near that castle. I can guarantee you that. Jacob, we need to have an accent off. Let's do it. Invite me on the show and let's do it. Shrimps in Australia called prawns. Thank you for everyone correcting me on that. Make sure you like the stream. If you're not a catfish, says Ben. Do make sure you hit. Thank you so much, Ben. There it is. Alan, tell the people you're live. Every day now, right?
Yeah, I pretty much try and go as much as I can. That sounded wrong. So let's start again. I try and go live as much as I can. Doing a lot of live streams, talking all like transfer rumors. Then we're talking about Ange. Now it's got into playing games. It's all about talking about Ange, the way he's playing. I get into it with members in the comments, so it's always good fun. In a nice way, of course. We have disagreements, but I pretty much I allow most people on. I put the links out for people to come and have their say. So it's always good to get you guys interacting as well and hearing your thoughts, because my idea with my channel is to get as many different people on so that you can hear them, because if we all agree the same and it's the same people on the same stream, it can get a bit boring. So I bring on people to continually have a difference of opinion so we can discuss things. Yeah, it's all about transfers at the moment and that, but it will get into the season where I'll do watch-alongs and go against rival fans, talking about, obviously, when big games come up and all that. So a lot of different things going on. So, yeah, pretty much every day 5 or 6 o'clock in England, 5 or 6 o'clock in on UK time.
It's about 11 a.m. for anyone in the Mountain Standard Time here. Noon o'clock for those in Dallas.
Yeah, so there is that. But for myself, anyone's welcome to come on. Obviously, it's just gone past 1,700, so growing quick. So yeah, if you if you like the show today, subscribe to my channel, and obviously come on and have your say. So,
it's right there in the title. It is a clickable link. It is in blue. Not hard to miss. Right by the like button. You hit that like. You hit time added on. Open up a window. Go subscribe over there. Great guy doing some great stuff.
No accents from me, unfortunately, guys. So I can't top what Jacob does. I don't really want to because I'd butcher it and people will probably try and cancel me for it. So I won't even try it.
Maybe you can. Maybe someone will super chat you to get you to do an accent or something. Get you to do it on your own show. And
there you go. Maybe.
And everyone will drag you a little bit. That'll be fun. No, we do not like catfish around here. Big ups to everyone who's been here live. If you're watching this back on replay, big up yourself right now. Please do hit that like on your way out. I'm going to close out the poll. Let's see where we landed as a group here on United Spurs of America.
Appreciate it.
Where are you with this Kane saga? Number 1, sell Kane now and move on. That's kind of the vibe here tonight. And then 28% saying, I've lost interest in it all. That is fair as well. Keep Kane, let him walk or sign next year. Got 19%, and then 8% said he's hostage at Spurs. I bet that was those 2 Arsenal folks that we had earlier in the chat. So big ups, regardless of the club that you support. I appreciate you being here. There could be anywhere in the world that you choose to be, and you chose to be here right now listening to this. So big up yourself. I do appreciate you. I also want to give a special shout out to a new member, Lazy 8. Got the Lovers Lane membership. Big up yourself right now, Lazy 8. Appreciate you doing that. And I didn't see you talking much today, but I do appreciate you getting that membership locked up, as well as Catman Jess got the membership yesterday or the day before. Big up Catman Jess, all our new members, and shout out Ben Kaufman, the double lover out there. 8:30 a.m. Friday in the Aussie East Coast, top show, guys. Big ups. You know, I got my kangaroos here. My kangaroos always here, so y'all know I rep Australia super hard out here in Texas. Hey man, all the support from Boston. There it is. We got support from Boston too. Big up. Big up for being here. Thank you, Purov. Purov, hope I said your name right. Sorry if I butchered it. I say a lot of things wrong. Jim went and subscribed. Big top man Jim there. Good show, says Paul Brown. Big up yourself, Jim. Tequila, thanks for the show. Great show, guys. Ben Kaufman, you can go sub to the coffee company, the chillest corner of YouTube. Go check him out as well. Show him some love. Ben is a legend indeed. Wayne Rooney in your chat, it seems. Where's Wayne Rooney? What did he say? He didn't say nothing. He's a DC. He was out there for the All-Star weekend with the MLS. That's fun. Can always do a South African accent, Alan. Nobody gets it right, so all good.
So look, there is a couple of accents I can do one lines for, but I can only say one thing that sounds pretty South African, one sentence, and it's just because I know somebody that used to say it, and I used to just copy and mimic like you do, and people say it's quite all right, but I just don't want to do it now because I set myself up for failure. So yeah, there is one there is 1 or 2 things that like I can say like South African, but I don't really want to do it because I've set myself up now. So
no worries. Well, big up everybody. I do appreciate this has been episode number 16 of the Untitled series here on United Spurs of America. Big up yourself for joining in tonight. Do appreciate all the support in the chat. Everyone who hit that like, you are very special, near and dear to my heart. But until next time, as always, stay blessed, stay fresh, and up the lads. Come on, you Spurs. Coys, 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 coys.
United Spurs of America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.